Hey, what's up you guys? Hope you're having a great day. If you don't know me, my name is Andrew and welcome to my channel. So you might be experiencing trouble with dysphoria, and I want to say I'm really sorry. I know firsthand exactly how that feels, and I know that it's something that's really difficult to go through. But I have figured out how to overcome dysphoria, and I've figured out how to live my life happily and not let dysphoria bother me, and that's what I want to teach you. And I know you might be thinking, oh, well, that's never going to work for me. And you're right. If you have the mentality that you're never going to overcome dysphoria, then you never will. That's just the way life works. And if you don't think something is possible, then it's not going to be possible for you. So if that's your mentality, you might as well click away now. I'm talking to people that actually want to overcome their struggles. Dysphoria used to really control my life. It made it to where I didn't want to go in public, and I wouldn't go in public because of it. It made me ashamed. It made me feel awful, and I was constantly just afraid. Like, I didn't want to take showers. I hated being naked. I couldn't stand certain things. I couldn't stand social situations, and it really was taking over my life. So it's not like I never experienced it, or it's not like I didn't struggle with it, because for years I did. And if you're experiencing dysphoria, that's fine. There is nothing wrong with you. You just need to have a mental switch. One of the biggest issues that I had with dysphoria was what I call problem focus. I was focused on the wrong problems. So I did have a problem with dysphoria, but the way I perceived dysphoria was that I was a victim to it. I acted and felt like it was something that was completely out of my control, and I had this why me attitude. Why do I have to wake up feeling like I'm in the wrong body? Why do I have to have boobs? Why wasn't I born with a penis? And I kept focusing on things that were completely out of my control, and it made me feel like a failure, and it made me feel hopeless. So I started to break down my dysphoria into categories. I started to focus on what are the things that I'm dysphoric about, right? And first one was my chest. I hated my chest. And I looked at other trans guys and I was like, there are other trans guys that don't have them. You know, they've gotten surgeries and now they don't have one. And I thought about it and I was like, if I had a surgery, would I feel less dysphoric? And I really thought about this, and the answer might be no for you. But the answer for me was, yeah, I really think that that would make me feel better. So all of a sudden, there was an answer for me, right? I went from having this, there's nothing I can do about it, to if I get surgery, I will feel better about this. And I know a lot of you guys might feel the same way. You might feel like, yeah, that's the answer, but Andrew, I can't afford surgery. Exactly. That's your problem. Your problem is that you cannot afford surgery, just like how I could not afford surgery. But guess what? People have gotten surgery, and what does that mean? That means it can be done. So now we need to focus on ways that we can save money or create money to get this surgery. And that's what the focus needs to be on, instead of on I'm helpless and I have this chest and I can't do anything about it. We need to focus on there's a solution, how do I get to it? In the meantime, because I know that that doesn't just make it go away, I found binders. I found things that worked for me. I noticed I found shirts that fit me, ways that made my body feel better. And I started focusing on solutions. And I know a lot of people are going to be saying, Andrew, not everybody can afford binders. And I'm saying, that's your problem. Your problem is that you can't afford a binder, right? And this is something that I want to work on. I want to figure out a way to where you can afford a binder, to where you can afford surgery. This is this is what my whole channel is about. It's about changing your life. It's about giving you these answers to your problems, instead of just trying to get you to relate to the fact that you have a problem. I want to find the answers for you. And I'm really sorry that I don't have every answer for you yet, but I do have a couple of solutions and a couple of suggestions. So you can't afford a binder. I personally had a ton, and I knew people that could not afford it. So I gave my binders out to people. There were certain people that would come to me and ask, do you have any extra binders? And I would give them to them. So maybe you have some friends that have binders. Even if they have two, ask them, you know, it's an old binder. Ask them if they need to get a new one. And when they do, if you can get their old one, or maybe buy their old one for a cheaper price. Start asking people, start asking around, and you know, finding people that might have one for you. Another solution is there's got to be things in your home that you don't need. There's gotta be old clothes that you don't wear. There's gotta be something that you can attempt to sell. Or maybe learn to play an instrument. Go out on the street, learn to play an instrument and play your guitar or play whatever. Open up a box and try to gain money that way. Make a lemonade stand. I don't care. Whatever you have to do. This is what I'm saying. Like, you have to get in this mentality that it's your duty. You gotta do it. You gotta come up with a solution. There are people that come up with solutions to gain money all the time. There are apps that you can download where you just play them, and yeah, you'll gain, it'll take you 5 hours and you'll gain 10 cents out of it. But that's still 10 cents. I'm telling you, if this is a real problem that you have, these are real solutions. A lot of people don't know this. I'm gonna make a separate video on it. But if you are of age, you can attempt to donate plasma. And if you donate plasma, not only does it help a ton of people, but you can get paid for it. You can make almost $300, depending on where you are. In Texas, I know, you can make almost $300 in your first 5 visits. And you can donate, depending on how big you are, up to 3 times a week. That's a great and really fast way to make some money. If that's an option for you, great. You should really check it out. I know a great place to do it. If you look around, see if you have a BPL around you, go there, try to donate some plasma, get some money out of it. You've helped somebody, and now you can afford to go get a binder or whatever you need to help make you feel less dysphoric. So I got a binder. What are other things? I didn't really like the shape of my chest. Well, you can start working out. If you can see plenty of trans guys that are like buff, and they don't have any top surgery, and it's like, dude, your chest looks great. They're not just magical human beings. They put in the work to get there. If you start doing exercises, do chest exercises, learn them. There's YouTube videos on how to do them. Learn chest exercises and build up your chest. So moving on, I looked at the next piece of dysphoria that I had. And the next one that I had was my vagina. I used to be very dysphoric about my vagina. I used to be very dysphoric about not having a dick out in public. Like, for real. Now, I don't. I really don't care. I don't even pack, and I don't care. But I realized that the most that I had dysphoria when it came to my vagina was whenever I was peeing in the men's bathroom. Because a lot of times they would just make a bunch of noise and people could hear me wipe, and it like dead out gave me away. So what did I do? I found a solution. If you scoot up to the toilet seat and you learn to control your pee and you pee really slowly, you can't hear it. You can ask Oliver. He comes in the bathroom with me all the time. Literally, I'm just sitting on the toilet, and it takes a little bit longer, obviously, because you're peeing at such a slow rate. You can't hear it. It's dead silent. You will never hear me pee. If bottom surgery is something that interests you, that is an option, but when it came to me personally, I didn't really want it. I don't like the way that it looks, but I was like, crap, I still feel dysphoric about my vagina. What am I gonna do? The answer for me was a lot of self-love. I realized that there was nothing wrong with having a vagina, that didn't make me less of a guy or whatever that even means. I learned that what I really wanted was to be myself. And to be myself, if that means that I have a vagina, then great. If to be yourself, that means that you need to get surgery, then great. But learn what you want. Learn what it means to be yourself. And then be genuinely okay with that. And this was something that I had to continuously just tell myself over and over again. You know, it's okay to have a vagina. It's okay to have a vagina. Instead of looking in the mirror and being like, what is wrong with me? Oh my gosh. I looked in the mirror and I was like, it's okay to have a vagina. I can either change it later if I decide to, if I want to undergo surgery, or I can find somebody that's going to love me that way. And it turned out for me, just finding somebody that's going to love me that way was the more appealing option. So that's what I invested my time in, was telling myself, I'm okay with me, other people are going to be okay with me. I'm okay with me, other people are going to be okay with me. Because the truth is, there are going to be people that are okay with you, whether you have surgery or whether you don't. Once I got it through my head that it's okay to have a vagina, and that I'm okay with me, and that there are going to be other people out there that are okay with me, and that there are going to be people out there that will love me for me, a weight was just lifted off my shoulders. It was like, wow, this isn't so bad then. Because the problem was I was viewing it as a problem. It's not a problem. There's nothing. I was viewing it as there's something wrong with being a dude and having a vagina. That's just the way that it felt. But once I really focused and really convinced myself it's okay, it became okay. It became acceptable. To put this in like the most dumbed down terms ever, it would be like if I was like, if you're constantly telling yourself that when you wear a blue shirt you look ugly, you're going to feel ugly when you wear a blue shirt. If you convince yourself like, dude, I look sexy in a blue shirt, you're going to feel sexy in a blue shirt. It's mental. It needs to be trained and it needs to be learned. You need to constantly just work at it and persistently push through that doubt, that self-doubt, and tell yourself, I'm fucking fine the way that I am. Because I'm telling you, you are. And it pains me, it kills me to see all these people walking around with vaginas thinking that there's something wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. The only thing wrong with you is that you think there's something wrong with you. Dude, here comes the passion again, I'm telling you. What else am I dysphoric about? I was dysphoric about my hips. Well, that's something that I can work on over time through working out. See, I started to just keep continuously, every time I would see something, instead of having that doubt and that negativity, I was like, what's the solution? I knew there were solutions because I looked at other trans guys that it's like, dude, if I had your body, or if I had your mind, I'd be totally happy. So instead of just bitching that I didn't have that, I was like, how did they get there? I became obsessed and fascinated with how those people got there, and I started to just implement it into my life until I became pretty happy with how I am. But to be honest, you cannot walk around asking and expecting other people to treat you like you're normal if you don't even view yourself that way. Like, it's such a selfish thing to be like, no, I'm allowed to complain about the way I am, but you can't. Dude, they're not gonna understand you if you don't understand you. This is the problem. This is why I'm trying to break down these walls. It's a mental game here, dude. You can win at it. You just gotta practice. Here's a fact for you. You're using just as much energy feeling bad about yourself as you could be using that energy working on feeling good. I know it feels like it's easier to just sit back and feel bad, but it takes a ton of energy to feel bad about yourself. It really does. It's like very crippling. Mentally, physically, it takes just as much energy to get out of that. And then when you're out, you feel great. Hell, some days I go out in public and I don't even wear a binder. Because who cares? I don't. If I do care, then I wear a binder. It's my choice. I don't have an issue with dysphoria. And if I don't, all that means is that it's possible not to. I'm not special. I'm not some like crazy human being. Well, I am crazy, but I want to show you that there's options. I want to show you that there's nothing wrong with you, and I want to show you that you're great. That's about all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.